Okay, so last video, stopped because, ran out of battery, so I recharged. So let's continue from just where we stopped. You see, there's red bacteria forming for our eyes, which is amazing. Like, really amazing. So nice. Just, the magic of life, life forms, coming to be, burning them, they're living, in front of your eyes. You see it like, it's really, when you see it like maturing, and this is like so, this is like, this is really, this is, צריך לברך, שהחיינו קימנו והגענו לזמן הזה, וברוך עושה מעשה בראשית, מברכים על הרם ועל הברק, אני כבר לא זוכר. לא זוכר, מה מברכים על הרם? בקיצור, מה שיפה, שזה פתאום חיים נוצרים, אקס נילו. איזה יפה זה. אני חבל, אבל, לא חבל, סליחה, לא חבל, אבל אין פה ציורים של ביצים כל כך. פה יש לי ציורים אחרים עם הביצים, כי עם הקלאסטרים של הביצים היינו יכולים להכין עכשיו אחלה איקרה, ויש לי גם חלה משבת שנשארה לי, ועכשיו אני צריך לחכות שהם יטילו, ואני לא יודע איך קוראים להם, כאילו, אני לא מכיר את הלייף סייקל שלהם, אני לא חקרתי את זה מספיק, אני גם לא יודע, מכיר את זה כאילו בפרזיטים אחרים, כלומר, הם צריכים להזדווג מן הסתם, בשביל להפרות הביצים, ואז יש כשטרין בקטריה זכר ונקבה, או שאולי מים מיניים, כי יש תולעים המיניות, אני יודע. ואז צריכים לגרום לה כאילו להרגיש בנוח, שתטיל את הביצים, ואז לאכול אותם. זה... אבל היינו יכולים להכין אחלה איקרה ורודה כזאת. איזה יפה זה נראה, יאו, איזה יפה זה. הנרונים על הזה, עושים כזה מיינינג, דאטה מיינינג. האמת, טעמתי, הספקתי לכם עם פיתה, וזה כמו... זה כמו איקרה ורודה מהזן הנחות, זה לא טעים, כאילו. כאילו, אם אתה ממש בלחץ, אפשר כאילו למרוח את זה על איזה פיתה, כן? שאתה כאילו, אתם יודעים, אתה כזה מתעורר כזה בבית, כאילו, ואין לך כלום במקרר, אז כאילו, אוקיי. אבל זה די, זה לא, נגיד, זה לא קוויאר ולא חצי קוויאר, כן? זה... קיצור, זה לא איזה מעדן קולינרי, כן? אבל... איזה יופי. Okay, so we've seen magical stuff. אפשר לברך ברוך שעשה לי כרצונו. ועכשיו, let's continue. So this is the last one. Again, we east with, since I think this is combined, like, from the oil and from the big container. So let's see what's going on. It's not funny, but I say, just one more thing to say with regards to this apartment, but it's true to everybody, doing this intelligence. But I live in this apartment. Every time I get outside, and somebody when he just gets out of his room and see that I'm alive, the feeling that kind of like the feeling of kind of like disappointment, like and also disdain and like Like, and I'm guilty. Like, I mean, why are you still alive? I mean, we were supposed to die. I mean, because Titans are dying and you are a Titan, so why are you not dead? I mean, and sometimes, I mean, it's not just visibly seen, but I mean, like, say things like, you know, מה, עדיין פה כאילו? עוד לא התפגרת? ואתה, סליחה, אני מתנצל באמת. סליחה. אשתדל להתפגר. כאילו, אתה השם שאתה חי. מה אני יכול לעשות? אני חי, נו מה? The problem was focused because, I mean, the camera doesn't sit well, like, on the... There's actually, I mean, kind of like advantage, I mean, using sellotape, not glass cover, I mean, it's more disadvantage than advantage, but I mean, sometimes it's actually better in all sorts of specific circumstances. So what we see here is all sorts of neurons in all sorts of sizes, difficult to focus. Very shiny Nero. This is, I mean, this optical phenomenon is known when the medium is dark. Like in this, I mean, specific case when there is relatively a lot of red paint. And it also happens when, I mean, it's like bare material or also like other painted, like, I mean, dark materials that, I mean, you see, I mean, it's some of it is because, you know, the auto-correction of the brightness of the iPhone camera, actually. So it's kind of like, I mean, but there is like huge contrast, I mean, of, you know, between the dark material and the light that follows through, you know, that, I mean, it shines through the open, you know, Stargate, the Neros. So you get this kind of like flash of light, which is it's typical to again, to dark mediums. Very big ones, certainly. Also smaller ones, but big ones. You see. I mean, this is 64 magnification, so almost everything that we see are, I mean, again, I mean, you know, the microscopic world, everything is relative. I mean, relative to the T that you know, like for the red T, you know, the T in the tiny body, it's like everything you see is like colossal, like in size, like almost astronomical in size. But there are, you know, even within these astronomical size, I mean, they are bigger than like smaller. Like, I mean. But they are all huge. And sometimes they are very huge, almost like non-microscopic. Almost non-microscopic. You can do the math yourself, 64 magnification, just, you know. You can see that the bigger ones, like that one, is almost, I mean, bordering, I mean, I just say, I mean, order of magnitude below, I mean, non-microscopic. Maybe we zoom. And he's working on a worm, which is nice. Very nice. Creating like a new life form, gestating, you know. So nice, you see? We try to zoom in a little more, just to get the hang of it. You see tremendous amount of smaller ones and not the bigger ones. We see all sorts of stuff. Okay, so it's a healthy mixture. I'm not going to too much, you know, pay too much attention to it. It's a healthy mixture. Really nice, really nice. You can see that they're not, I mean, they created flow now because I touched, you know, the glass. You see that they are not bothered by the flow. They're like, I mean, yeah, you flow, we are hovering, you know, above, like the starships that we are. Again, this is type 2 superconductors. They are hovering above the magnetic field of the Earth and in perfect alignment. So cool, so nice. This looks like Mars. Is this Mars invasion? Okay, so extremely colorful slide with, I know, all sort of stuff. Too much stuff probably. I should, I'm always too greedy and I put too much stuff on the slide and then it's difficult to focus and all sort of optical problems. But it's a healthy slide with many life forms are created, peacefully, and huge neros are doing their job, which is great. Very nice, very nice. Soon in your bodies as well, which is also nice. Okay. Very nice. Okay, so successful coloring, even though there is much phenomena that I just don't understand, but it was interesting. So what I want to do now is, before we continue with the other 4 slides that we have prepared, I actually want to take a sample right now from this melting pot. So the first the first review from the previous video was from this container, but since then I kind of burned. I put it on fire several times, like for several consecutive burnings, with a little bit of added, sugar, sodium bicarbonate, and salt, and also a little bit of oil. But every time I kind of so it's almost so it's burned almost start to create foam, like the oil burned very hot. So I removed it, and a certain amount hefty amount was spilled. So I took everything and put it on the fire, from what spilled, and then refill it with oil, put it on the fire, wait until it's kind of boiling, then again removed it, and again it spilled. So by the second or the third time, I thought, okay, so enough. Maybe let's just let the rest. But what I want to do now is to take an examination before it solidifies, because it might be too. I've also added a little bit of wax, and I'm not sure if it's going to solidify. To point I cannot put it on the microscopy slide. So just let's take a quick let's very quickly. Just wait a second, and I'll take I'll prepare a new slide, and we'll watch it now. Just a minute. Just a minute. Okay. So I've taken a sample and colored it. So what? I mean, I don't know what's going to see. The fact that it 2 times, I mean, substantial amount was spilled, and and I had to refill it with oil. I mean, suggested. I mean, we might not get to see many things that are not oil, which is a bummer. I mean, by the way, it was blue originally, but I mean, because of all spilling all the time, I mean, and refilling, and it lost the color, so I had to recolor it now with substantial amount. Also, I mean, maybe I added a little bit of water in the initial phase, so maybe it was evaporated. I mean, the material because it was like burning very heavily. Let's just take a look. Okay. The problem with samples that contain wax, and it happens a lot because I use wax a lot, V-wax, is that when you put it under a microscope, I mean, on a slide, I mean, the cover is almost never, I mean, stuck to the lower level as it should be with microscopic slides, and this makes focus harder, and you miss a lot of stuff. But I mean, what can you do? Okay, so we see both neros and just bubbles. We also see duds. Duds are neros in creation. Duds, I mean, when you disconnect like energy source, or you stop fire, things like that, or they lost their chemical energy, they are dissolving into the liquid. I mean, duds are like incomplete, inanimate neros in the process of creation. Usually, when you watch it under the microscope, they are going to dissolve, because it means that you stop like the energizing in order to take a sample. So they are done. I mean, like in 6 or 8 hours they will be, or 12 at most. If we watch this slide, we will only see the real ones, like the living ones, and not the duds. But there are, I mean, there are ones that are living, of course, and they are like real neros, not duds, but also duds. Nice. This reminds me of electrolysis, of like material that you take just from electrolysis for in process of creating. By the way, just to understand, these clips, I mean, you see the two rings, very similar as the two neurons. Like, I mean, I used it in the past in many experiments, so you can watch it. Like, I mean, the two holes, like in the silver, I remember that, I mean, initially I bought it for like six of those for for the purpose of when I painted, like sometimes you take the canvas or or block of paper, and you need to kind of to secure it, like to kappa, or like all sorts of material, temporary frames. So I mean, so I was painting like outside, in nature or something, but I mean like close to kind of a gas station or something, and I remember that I went like to buy something, to eat from the gas station, and and then all the you cannot like when you paint outside. I mean, it's a hassle like to take everything with you all the time. Like I mean, wherever you go. So sometimes you just leave it there and hope the people will not take anything because, like the like the wooden I don't know I would say can like like the not can like the Superman or can like here, but can like or like the channel can, but like can like like in Hebrew. I mean, Hebrew is very efficient. Like I mean, like every word is like, I got like 10 meanings, and it's also it's like it's good because I mean these are the people. I mean they like it that way. That I mean that meaning is fluid. I mean it can be changed. Like, after you said something. I mean you can change the meaning. A posteriori, which is great. Anyway, the wooden device, like I mean, like the big wooden device where you put like the frames when you paint. I had several of these. They're like like complicated devices, like like the measurement device from part 3, the unpublished part yet of the story, the Shira Yafa. Anyway, so when I went back, I've seen that I have only 5. Like somebody took one of these, the clips, like the metal, these things, So I posted in Facebook, like I mean, like a question, like what can you do in such a thing? I mean, why should somebody take it like one? Like what is it used for? Like I mean, and I remember that Anat Dias, actually was Titan. Like I mean, I once dated her, like maybe 25, like when we were still in high school, like 20 something years ago. Like Anat Dias, from Mahavat Sharon. She said something and she wrote something like she like just replied with a smiley, and then I mean they're all the same. Like I mean we spoke later also, so I mean I know. I mean it's not just they're like that. I mean all of them are like that. Like I mean I mean when they see these things they don't think about like two symbols of the Nero. They think like and they also don't think about like painting. Like, yes, they do think about painting, but I mean not like not about canvases. I mean yes, about anyway, yeah. So they're almost all like that. But she's specifically like that because she told me several times. But I mean they're all like that. I mean that's what they're always thinking about. Anyway, so this is a known symbol of the Nero, like when you want to like put like on top of a container. To some extent, again, it's reminding of like like samples from electrolysis chamber after because we see that we don't see as many dads as we see like in electrolysis chamber when you see like if you take a sample from the form in the electrolysis chamber, I mean straight out, out after you kind of like disconnected or like when it's still online, you see like 95% of the neurons are actually dads, but because they're all there like in creating. It's not the situation here. Here we say like about 50 or 60% are dad. It's still good like because we see a tremendous amount. So 50% is even like 30% dads of so many dads. Like so it's still not the biggest dads. Pretty big. I like that dads like big. Like I like them to be big. So, but they're pretty big. I would say yeah. You don't need to be that greedy. Certainly not initially, and you can grow them after they are created. Of course, this was done many times. It's not like the bottom line. Like the dads can they can go. Like later. This is actually a beautiful one because you can see like the Stargate position. Very nice, very nice. Very, very nice. Okay, so what we didn't see at all is actually life forms. And you can ask why. And the reason is, of course, why were not life forms created, or why they are dead. And the reason, of course, is because it was blue initially, blue, and also blue. I mean, yeah, it was plastic after so much spinning and feeling, but it was blue medium, and this one here you see the blue background, and also the life forms that you see. Some actually, relatively, I would say it's oil. I mean, oil on gesso, and I mean some actually close to be, I would say, zoological. This one is actually, the shrimp is quite realistic, and other microbes, and you see Homo sapiens microbes and the trend bacteria microbe, all sorts of microbes, aliens and non-alien, and Homo sapiens alike. On blue background, which is the which means death or zombify, which is like death. So it took this inspiration from this here, just to kill the life forms, which is great. I mean, because it's very it's very kind of pure mixture. So we just the metal in blue, and tremendous amount of neurons, but we don't see life form, which is great. And unlike what we've seen in other samples, and this is completely consistent with the symbolic language and the paintings and the background. With regard to the question, can you actually, is metal in blue edible? So I have no idea. I've eaten a very small amount of it, actually more than a year ago. In the initial phases of this, of the research, more than a year ago, I was all over the place with all sorts of even created medicine. I've even received FDA approval for human testing. So I've started with myself and I eat lots of stuff that they created. So actually there are several videos from the time that discussed human grade versus non-human grade mixtures. This was all abandoned a year ago when in this hostel, in the last year, I kind of I was more focused in specific directions of creation of life forms and multiplying the neurons, and not so I left other things that were on my mind and in the research. I should say I've eaten small amounts of it, in several FDA approval experiments. I cannot report any effect. Much later, a month, 2 months ago, I've actually read just online. I don't remember where. Or maybe in YouTube. No, it was in YouTube. A thumbnail with regard a video that was discussed. Metal in blue is kind of a drug that is used for nootropics. One of the modern drugs that are used presumably to enhance, I don't know what, enhance performance. Not bad performance. I don't know, cognitive performance. It's under the ambiguous and questionable term of nootropics. So it's apparently this stuff is actually one of those drugs, the metal in blue. But I only knew about its properties as a stain, for microscopic examination. It's doing a great job, as you see. So maybe we'll stop here and start another video with some more. We still have these ones that were taken from not these ones. Wait a second. No, not these ones. A second. Yes, these ones. It were taken from various containers. It were taken from various containers. These ones. Yeah, these ones were taken from fire-use containers, yes. Yes, now I recall. Yes. So I don't remember what exactly. So there was, yes, 2 containers. Okay, so yes, this one from the glass one, from from the tester choice. I mean, it was relatively new, like 3 months ago, used for electrolysis and life creation. And the other ones are much ancient, like they were used as alien containers, but there are only remnants. Yeah, so now, okay. So we'll take a look at these 3 in the next video. Again, so these belong to the dark cabinet section. You see, these are the ones that were taken. They are all. This is like from 3 months ago, and the rest are like 10 months ago, something like that. Only remnants. I've thrown away most of it, or burned it, but I mean, still we had a bit of material certainly for microscopic examination, and that's what we'll take a look at just in a bit.